The Walt Disney World Castle, also known as Cinderella's Castle. There it is, all in all its grandioseness. Don't know if that's a word, but we're going with it. Built in Minecraft. It took about 3 months to build, I think, and that was pretty much every single day. I had a lot more time back then. It was definitely a kind of 4 or 5 hours every evening kind of thing. The thing is, I very much needed a starting point for this castle because it was far beyond anything I'd ever done before. So I wanted to make sure I was doing something that was accurate to the actual model, and I've seen many pictures of the castle, but I've never been able to look at something which covers it in all 360. So I had to look at what else had been built in Minecraft before, because I wanted to see how people had translated a 3D model, because they must have seen it in all 360 degrees and stuff into the Minecraft world, and there were so many different ones out there, and I found one which was a really interesting design, and I was looking at that one. I really appreciated how that one was put together, and I never wanted to completely copy someone else's, because of course why would I? I will put the link in the description if I can find it to the original castle that I used as a lot of inspiration, but the problem is with my brain, I'm pretty good at remembering stuff, like really fine detail, so I think I've ended up with quite a similar design. However, there's so much has changed, like down to materials and stuff like that. But one thing I really appreciated about this castle is it doesn't do what Walt Disney World actually does with the actual castle. There's no forced perspective involved because, of course, it's made so the bottom looks further away than the top, so it gets smaller at the top, but I didn't want that. I wanted a full-size castle that I could run around and do many different things in. And as you can see, I think it looks rather elegant, almost as elegant as the actual thing, or, well, maybe even better, if I say so myself, with it being actual size, but yeah. Oh, and even the lighting, like as it goes into night, there we go, let's fade in. I want something that is an icon. I want to look at it and just be in awe of it. I know this is a model and I'm sounding very passionate about it, but honestly, like if you'd seen my reaction to when I first built it, I literally just couldn't stop staring at it and walking around it and just being in awe of it, because of course me as a Disney lover, it means so much anyway, but the fact that I've managed to create it in a 3D model that I could explore and build around was just something incredible, and I'm getting a bit passionate, so let's move on to kind of the origins of how it was built, because I want to show you like the entire story behind these things when I showcase off these models. So our story actually begins long ago in a faraway land of ancient Greece. Would you have it? This is my ancient Greece land. Dun, dun, dun. My actual main world like a few years ago was about 600-700 blocks away. I wanted to create a holiday destination, and I loved ancient Greece. I loved Hercules, so I created some kind of like generic ancient Greece land, which was actually based on another ancient Greece land I had on a previous world on my Xbox 360 before that melted, but it's not really based on Disney. Apart from this area here, this is kind of the only Disney bit. This is like Meg's garden bit where she sings I Won't Say I'm in Love. Even inside the Temple of Zeus, like the Zeus wasn't a Zeus. I did change it recently to test out colours, but this land was very much a temporary measure. It was just an ancient Greece that I could escape to. I didn't really picture building it as a Disney ancient Greece. I don't know why. I think I was still in the tail end of being moody teenager, like, oh, I'm too cool for Disney. Yeah. Was connected to the rest of my world by a tube network, so that's the Grecian line there, and a tube line doesn't really fit in ancient Greece, does it? I wanted to create a much more immersive experience, and at this time the Lego Disney Castle got announced, and oh my god, I lost my mind about it. I couldn't afford it though, so I wanted to create my own, and I thought, well, I may as well build it near this ancient Greece, then I can kind of connect them. I'll redevelop this one, and I'll have kind of like a whole Disney place going on, because that would be cool, wouldn't it? But of course, if I were to already have this ancient Greece here, I needed to find some land for the castle to be built upon. So, let's go location scouting. So here we go, here's a plain seed version of the land which was ancient Greece. No longer is it, but yeah, this is what happened before. You can see I've done a lot of work, even more so now I've done a new ancient Greece, so I can't wait to show you that once it's completely done. Having an empty world meant that I could show you where the castle was before it had a castle on it. So let's head over there now. It didn't take much searching to find an island that was good enough to have a castle on it with a river around it. I definitely wanted a river around it, and I found this piece of land here, and as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the right shape. I didn't need to do any alterations to it. There was a mountain which needed a bit of landscaping. Obviously that disappeared and needs to get rid of a few trees. There was one thing on the island though which I need to talk about. Over in this area here, there was a village, and there isn't now because village generation has changed, so it's generated in a different place, etc. But still, I felt very moral about the situation. I know it's Minecraft, it's a computer game. However, I didn't like the idea of murdering a load of villagers to build my castle. I thought that was a bit Emperor Cusco of me, so wanted to avoid that. While we're in this spot, I just want to take a moment to do a little slideshow, a very quick one of all of the screenshots and pictures that I took of me building the castle, so you can see like how it was built in the various stages. There's not that many images, but I think that's enough to give you an idea of how it's built. Anyway, let's continue with this villager story. I need to take you into somewhere else. Dun, dun, dun. You now join me in what looks like a secret underground bunker. And that's because that's exactly what it is. It's a secret underground bunker. We are currently below the castle. What I did, I dug out an underground village, basically. Look, there's bedrooms at the side. There was a little area for the farm in the middle here. I'd got everything they needed. And this led straight up to the castle, but I dropped them all in so they could continue living while I was building the castle, because I didn't want to murder them and I wanted them to come back into my castle. But I left them plenty of room. Like, I think I did a good job at recreating a village in a bunker setting. There was a hole in the roof. They weren't living in darkness. It wasn't like that. I left them in the light as much as possible. But look, big open space. That fence maze was very useful in getting them out. I had to kind of like herd them like sheep or cattle or whatever to get them out, which was such a task. I think it took like a good few hours to get all the villagers out. I could have just murdered them and made some new ones, but I'm not like that. I'm not. So this is the passage that was used to escape, as in for me to push the villagers out. I think it leads... Well, no. Oh, I thought it led into the courtyard. It doesn't. It leads into one of my back rooms, but here's the courtyard, and this is the new accommodation. I actually built all of the villagers' accommodation into the walls of the castle because I wanted to make use of the space. Look, I've built them a nice farm out the back. Look how happy they look, all caged in. Yeah, I didn't want them to escape. That's a bit cruel, but still, they've got a lovely... Well, who wouldn't want to live in the Disney castle? They've got plenty of space. They're all happy. That's all I'm bothered about. If they've got a problem with it, they could try and escape, however they can't, so oh well, they've just got to get on with life. I would show you the interior of the castle, however I haven't really done much of it, and that's a conscious decision. I want to leave it. I don't want to rush this. Well, as you can tell, I made this a couple of years ago now and I've still not finished the interior. I've only ever done it as I needed a bit, because I wanted to make sure I was producing exactly what it needs to be as opposed to just doing a quick fix and stuff. So there's lots of emptiness inside this castle, and one area which I really want to do soon is the main entranceway, so we can have a quick look inside now. It's a big empty space. I need to change that into something extremely grand and suiting for the castle, which because I've got another area which needs accessing, so I need that hallway. Really, the main purpose of this castle was for it to be a hub. I wanted it to be a hub in many senses. So underneath it, for instance, there's a big train hub for people to be able to access different parts of my world and different parts of the Disneyverse. It's also a hub in terms of like it's a central location. Like there's a hotel built into the walls, not in the villager bit, on the above bit with the towers. Each tower's a hotel room, which I think is a really cool addition. And yeah, I wanted it to be the connective tissue between all of these immersive lands, like ancient Greece. Like now I have so many other ones. I have Agrabah, I have the Pride Lands, I have Paris, where the Notre Dame is. I wanted it to be the connective tissue, because that's what it is at Walt Disney World, isn't it? It's the hub, it's the centre icon. And a centre icon needs a good way up to it. I definitely need to do some improvements on Main Street. That's going to be a ride which tells you the story of how Walt created the company, and yeah, all mushy and stuff, but I definitely need to transform this area at some point to make it as grand as the castle is itself. What's good about the Main Street expansion though is like I don't want to go too far away, that the castle's not in render distance, of course, because I want to be able to see the whole castle as you walk out, but I've got plenty of space around here to be able to expand it a little bit, and I can always have the buildings go back. But yeah, there we go. No, so starting to fade out already. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. Oh, no, disgusting. We need to be up close, so you walk out some doors and you see it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at my castle. I wanted to get this video out of the way. I wanted to do this kind of reboot series, because the last time I made Minecraft videos, it was a Let's Play, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the pacing of it. So this is a way for me to show off what I built, and I love doing that. And the reason I want to show off this one is because I've got another one that I need to get out in the next couple of days for a very specific reason. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!